Andreas Krieg is a researcher at the Near East Centre for Security and Strategy at King's College London. He's with me now. That's quite something, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Are they ready?
Are they ready? They've been preparing for this battle for quite a long time. But are they really ready to conduct this massive military operation? If you look at the map right now, you will see that Raqqa, that the front line of the SDF is still around 40 to 50 kilometers away from the actual town of Raqqa. There are loads of smaller towns in between that need to be taken. And to the west, you have Syrian, very far to the west, you have the Syrian army. And after that, we only have the Free Syrian Army. So basically, I think one of the issues I'm seeing right now is that the SDF itself might not be strong enough because they cannot really fight together with the Free Syrian Army.
And they got the US backing. Right.
They do have a US backing, which is great. I think there have been allegations or there have been reports, they're unconfirmed last night, that we have a couple of parachutists flying and landing around Raqqa. They might be advanced special forces from France or from the United States to help this advance. But I think it will be a problem to start this operation at this point without the Free Syrian Army being able to support this operation, because it's a numbers game in the end of the day. And having the YPG or the SDF forces advance might not be as easy as we think, particularly because Turkey is not really on board. And
yes, I was going to ask you about Turkey. Would Turkey want to join?
Absolutely
the SDF not keen for them to be there anyway.
I mean, one of the reasons they got involved in Syria with their ground offensive, which is to the west of the current the Ain al-Issa, where we've seen this press conference take place. When they got involved in there, they got involved because they wanted the YPG and they wanted the SDF not to have to capture further ground, because the more they capture, the more areas they will control, Kurdish controlled, Arab controlled, that Turkey fears they will never have actual leverage over, and could potentially become a safe haven for the PKK.
Looking at the battle underway in Mosul at the moment, they haven't even got to the centre. It's horrific what we are seeing and the tactics used by ISIL. Is it a lot worse in Raqqa, being their capital, how long they've been there, and the condition of Raqqa? If you look at pictures now, I mean, it's pretty wiped out.
It's a completely different ball game. Mosul is a city of 1.5 million. Raqqa is relatively small, 200,000 people living there, a bit more than that. But the significance of these centers or these cities for ISIS is slightly different. On the one hand, you have Mosul, which is the second biggest city in Iraq, very important for the fight in Iraq, where ISIS kind of grew. Raqqa, on the other hand, has a lot of significance as an administrative hub. It's the administrative capital of the so-called Islamic State. But they have, in both areas, they have very good ties with the local social and tribal fabric. And I think this is where the advantage for ISIS lies. Small city, very well barricaded, fortified. They have the same problems there that we have in Mosul. We have a tunnel system. Raqqa is covered with sheets, so all the alleyways, you can't really see anything from the top, even if you fly with drones above it. It's very difficult for air forces to actually recognize who's moving from where to where, because everything is covered. You have tunnel systems, and people can move within the city without anybody noticing from the air, which makes it kind of difficult to really say, are we ready to take this town, because it's highly fortified. But because it's such a small town, you don't need this massive amount of forces as you will need to basically liberate Mosul.
Okay, Andreas, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And that we're going to leave that press conference, as well as speaking to Andreas Krieg about the offensive that has been announced to retake Raqqa in Syria.